So without indemnification provisions in a purchase agreement, the representations and warranties would really be all sizzle, but no steak. And the reason for that is that the indemnification provisions is where the parties can actually the seller can compensate the buyer for breaches of those reps, and value changes hands, and you really then affect the allocation of risk between the parties. So what is indemnification? It's basically just an understanding that if there is a breach of the representations and warranties, the seller will make the buyer whole. And an example that I'm working on right now, I represented the buyer in a transaction, and one of the representations was around the largest customers and suppliers of the business that was being acquired. And the seller told us that they had not received any indication from any of the major customers that they intended to decrease the amount of purchases that they made from the company. Well, after closing, several months after closing, the buyer was reviewing the email records of the company and found in at least 3 instances, maybe more, where there was actually that kind of communication. Very plainly, the customers were indicating, hey, we're no longer going to purchase this part from you or these particular products from you going forward. And of course, had the buyer known this prior to closing, they would have renegotiated the purchase price, because the purchase price was based on their expected value of the business going forward. So now that we've discovered that that representation was no longer true, we're bringing an indemnification claim against the seller to be made whole for the difference in the value of the enterprise.